Moving on to our Redzone Rodeo Clowns of the Week, one of my favorite segments.
We go,
I
Rob.
think the biggest clown of the week are all of our UFL takes from last week. Pretty much everything we said, from our power rankings to who we expected to be good, to why, all of it was wrong. I think our power rankings were almost completely backwards from how the league itself ended up shaking out, outside of having the Stallions at number 2. They should have been number 1. Everything else was all topsy-turvy. Uh, pretty much every game prediction, everything we said, just completely wrong. But that's the beauty of spring football. You never know what to expect. It's impossible to predict.
Yeah.
No one out there could have predicted what happened. I think every team that was like a betting favorite to win almost lost, outside of, I think, the Stallions Renegades game. So even Vegas doesn't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on. That's what makes things fun to hear. But all of our takes from last week's episode definitely Redzone Rodeo Clowns of the Week for sure.
Absolutely. And that's, as you mentioned, it's always the fun part about doing this, If we were accurate 100% of the time, then it wouldn't be fun. It's great to kind of look back at some of your takes and be like, "Hey, you know what? That was really wrong." But, let's just keep doing it because we're eventually going to land on some of them. But absolutely, yeah, there was some very interesting takes we had last week that certainly didn't shape up from watching the first week, the inaugural week of the UFL. Something that also really grinds my gears is not only this individual that I'm going to name, but a lot of talk around the Tennessee Titans as of recent. But the man I'm going to be labeling as the Redzone Rodeo Clown of the Week is Nick Wright. Now, Nick Wright has kind of echoed what has been this kind of banter between the other NFL fan bases in regards to all of these off-season moves that the Titans are doing, whether it's Calvin Ridley, L'Jarius Sneed, Lloyd Cushenberry, some of these, Tony Pollard, almost forgot your Cowboy guy. These guys have all been great additions for the Tennessee Titans and only are making them better, fixing some holes that they had, which just makes it super insane to me that there are individuals out there who think that these moves are only hurting the Titans organization and making them a much worse team than they were this past season, which is super, super crazy. But the one thing I want to bring up, because there's just honestly too much to bring up in regards to that, the one thing I want to bring up is what Nick Wright said NFL shows is that he said that the Tennessee Titans were going to have the first overall pick in the 2025 draft. And someone replied with, well, then why are they making all of these moves in the offseason? Why would they be making all these moves if they're just going to end up having the first overall pick? And Nick Wright, the genius, if you want to call him that, said that the Titans are a poorly run organization. Nick Wright, what are you talking about? These moves not only just absolutely build up the Titans team, plug the holes, but literally other teams around the league like the Eagles, who you are praising, by the way, for what they were able to do, they're doing exactly what the Eagles are doing. So what's the difference? Taking big name players that may be a little bit older and plugging holes that literally on your roster, there were problems this past season. Other teams are doing that, and you're not calling them out. What are you talking about? It makes no sense to me. All of this Titan slander and hate. I can tell you if Calvin Ridley went to the Patriots, all the talk of the town would be Calvin Ridley's the best. Oh my goodness, the Patriots could be that next best team. No, he goes to the Titans and everyone's talking, oh, he's old. He's washed. Same thing with Pollard. Let's say Pollard goes to the Eagles. Oh my gosh, look at this. Pollard's going to be one of the best guys, so much better than DeAndre Swift. Goes to the Titans. What a washed guy. He can't even play football. What is this slander? You know what? I just want to say, Nick Wright, you're a joke. And at the same time, you all watch out for the Titans next year, because if you think that their offseason moves was pathetic or stupid and that they're going to have the first overall pick in the 2025 draft, Y'all are crazy. And let's just see what happens on the field, because I think this Titans team is going to be a lot tougher than what you saw next year.
Yeah, it's a shame because I really like Nick Wright too. He's one of the only like TV guys that's consistently fair to the Dallas Cowboys. But yeah, I think if you're going to criticize the Titans, you should also be criticizing the Eagles. Not doing that definitely makes you a red zone rodeo clown of the week. Another take that we have here on our clown of the week segment on the Pat McAfee show. He was interviewing The Rock before Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who originally was an owner of the XFL and is now a partial owner of the UFL. Before the UFL season kicked off, and he made this. Pat McAfee made the statement to The Rock that the XFL is better than the USFL, the two leagues that merged, and said that the XFL teams would probably beat the USFL teams consistently because the XFL teams had better rosters. The USFL is 2-0 following this past weekend. They have not lost to an XFL team yet. So the take that the XFL teams are better than the USFL teams gets Pat McAfee on the Redzone Rodeo Clowns of the Week.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's certainly wrong about that. Stallions showed up and beat the Renegades, and so did the Panthers when it came to the Battlehawks. So two interesting wins that, obviously I think the Stallions was a bit more understandable. Panthers was a complete shock, but still, yeah, XFL talent and rosters is better. Well, looks like we had the USFL come out, and they're now 2-0. And there we have not had an XFL kind of based roster that has beaten a USFL based roster yet. So we'll see how week 2 shakes out in regards to some of those possibilities. But and as of right now, the USFL is winning in that kind of rivalry between USFL and XFL. But I think it's all fun and games because at the end of the day, we're all part of the UFL now. And I think that rather than try to divide ourselves in, well, which league was better, it's a fun rivalry, but I'm glad that we're all can join in together in spring football together, because creating opportunities for these players is combined effort, and it's good to be that way. But Pat McAfee, come on, man, what were you thinking? Were you just trying to show up for The Rock? You wanted to look pretty for him? Looks like you were doing something like that, but unfortunately, you're gonna have to eat your words this time. The UFL is here, and the USFL rosters have been rocking out week 1.
That's right. Now this guy is absolutely the biggest Red Zone Rodeo clown of the week. He's just a clown in general in life. Man, you lose at life, you are the biggest clown ever. This is Rashee Rice, the Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver. He was a few nights ago caught in a drag racing incident in Dallas, where he was drag racing sports cars with someone else in the Dallas area, got into a huge car accident, and instead of staying there and taking ownership like a man, he fled the scene like a little coward. The police had to launch a search for him. They spent all day looking for him, all weekend. I think I remember seeing these headlines under the UFL games until they finally found him. And now his lawyer said Rashee Rice is, he's cooperating with the police and doing everything that's required of him. Rashee Rice, you are a clown. You literally, all you have to do is play a game and not get in trouble for the rest of your life, and you will be a millionaire,
Yeah.
multi-millionaire just from playing a game. All you have to do to keep that happening is not get in trouble. And you do something stupid like this, drag race, and then run away from the scene of the crime. What are you thinking? You are the absolute biggest clown this week, hands down. Come on, you had such a bright, promising future and you threw it all away so you could drag race. What are you thinking? Clown. You are a clown, sir.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know how he's going to be punished for this, but yeah, it's crazy, honestly, all around when you have these NFL players who are making millions, and for fun they're doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing, and they're jeopardizing what they have tried to do their entire life, which is make it to the NFL and be a professional athlete, putting that all in jeopardy. It's just crazy to me. Anyone that does that is absolutely a Red Zone Rodeo clown of the week. But Rashee Rice, come on, man. Drag racing, you could do on video games and you don't get in trouble. Come on. You can really don't do it. Don't do it, man. Now you're
You are
paying the
rich enough.
repercussions.
You are rich enough to rent out a private racetrack and
Yeah.
buy a race car. Do it that way. Don't do it in the middle of a public street where you can get into a car accident and then running away from the scene. Oh my God, this is so disgustingly stupid. You are such a clown. Good
Yeah.
Lord. Good Lord, Rashid Rice.
How do you come back from that? I don't know. I'm just always I'm gonna hear Rashid Rice and be like, oh, that's the drag race guy that just wrecked his car and ran away.
Him, Henry Ruggs, Jalen Carter. Come on, guys. What are you doing? What are
Yeah,
you doing?
exactly. Exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy. Thank you for joining us on the Redzone Rodeo podcast.
If you like football and you like having fun, come on down and subscribe and check out our channel for more videos like this one.
No ifs, ands, or bucks. This is the best place for your football news.